Joe Biden got Joe Biden got countries like Pakistan talking about him.
में सोते रहे वज़ीर आज़म नफ्ताली बेनेट सोए हुए बाइडन को अपनी दास्तान सुनाते रहे। ये रिपोर्ट देखी।
I don't know what he said, but he said something about Sleepy Joe.
तालिबान की फतह का सदमा है या बुढ़ापे की थकन है? बाइडन सो गए कैमरों के सामने इस्राएली वज़ीर आज़म के रूबरू।
They say Joe Biden can't even stay woke while meeting with a national leader. How in the hell he gonna run a country when he can't even stay fucking woke? Next! Oh, by the way, did you hear that the war is over and all the troops have left Afghanistan?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to announce the completion of our withdrawal from Afghanistan and the end of the military mission to evacuate American citizens.
But not all American citizens, and not all American weapons either.
We now know that due to the negligence of this administration, the Taliban now has access to over $85 billion worth of American military equipment
that American taxpayers pay for. So you mean to tell me taxpayers gonna pay for abortion and guns? Ain't that a bitch? And the Taliban is having a field day inside of America's weapons.
बगराम अफगानिस्तान का एक सबसे बड़ा अमेरिकी बेस रहा है जो काबुल से करीब 100 से 150 किलोमीटर के बीच पड़ता है, उसका डिस्टेंस है और बिल्कुल पंचशीर के पास पड़ता है और उस एयर बेस की निगरानी कर रहे हैं ये तालिबानी लड़ाके हेलीकॉप्टर के जरिए।
Translated, Joe Biden, thank you for the American helicopters and all these weapons. You could have gave them to some of our allies.
That includes 75,000 vehicles, over 200 airplanes and helicopters, over 600,000 small arms and light weapons. The Taliban now has more Black Hawk helicopters than 85% of the countries in the world.
But the Taliban said thank you for the weapons and the hostages.
السلام عليكم، أنا أخوكم عمران الأفغاني، وهذا المركز العسكري في مطار قندوز تم تحريره يوم أمس بيد قوات طالبان الباصلة، وكما ترون العشرات بل المئات من السيارات والمدرعات العسكرية الأمريكان المحتلون.
Translated, Taliban said they're having a yard sale on American vehicles. You can get them at half price or two for the price of one. Next!
But they don't just have weapons. They also have night vision goggles, body armor, medical supplies, and unfathomable to me and so many others is that the Taliban now has biometric devices which have the fingerprints, eye scans, and the biographical information of the Afghans who helped us over the last 20 years.
Joe Biden don't give a damn about the Afghans or the Americans that's stuck in Afghanistan. Joe Biden don't even ask God to protect the troops no more.
So thank you, and may God protect those in the path of the storm, and God willing, we'll get through this sooner than later.
Hey, Joe Biden, you forgot to bless the soldiers and the soldiers' family who died over there in Afghanistan under your dumbass plans.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
Why, you disrespectful motherfucker. Next!
The other apparent misstep of the president today has been a moment in that ceremony when he appears to check his watch for the time, which wouldn't be quite in keeping with the moment.
No, it's kind of fucking disrespectful if you ask us. And when I mean us, I mean America. Who in the hell checked their watch at United States Soldiers Memorial like they got something else better to do?
Supporters, defenders of the president have said that that's a gift of his late son, Beau Biden, but that's actually been repeatedly found to be a false story.
I wouldn't give a damn if it was a gift from Jesus. He shouldn't have been looking at it when he's supposed to be paying tribute to the soldiers.
It's proven to be a gift from clarification from the White House from the First Lady, Jill Biden, for Christmas. It's a Rolex, reportedly around $7,000.
Wait a minute. You can't really blame Joe Biden because Joe Biden got the mind of a damn 6-year-old. He probably was just looking at the shiny little toy he had on his wrist. You know, kids like sparkling, shining things. Next! Is you gonna pay the Taliban back for killing them Americans or what?
General Taylor just said that 2 high-profile targets were killed and 1 wounded.
Wow, killed 13 of ours, we killed 2 of yours and wounded another one.
And can you explain any more about whether these individuals were directly involved in the Thursday bombing at Kabul airport?
Or was they just a bunch of nobody-ass terrorists who just happened to own a truck with a damn rocket launcher on the back?
So it was, without getting into too much tactical detail.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
I guess you got your answer. Next! Damn, why are you so secretive on the name of the terrorists? Why we can't know who was trying to kill Americans?
They were ISIS-K planners and facilitators.
What in the hell is a planner and a facilitator? That sounds like an assistant coach to me. He don't sound like he got a damn title, a planner and a facilitator. What kind of shit is that?
The capabilities of those struck and killed last night were a facilitator and planners. So yeah, we're not going to get into this one was this one was this. A capability
kind of planners
of facilitators and planners.
We ain't going to get into this one is this and this one is that because neither one of them wasn't shit.
Were you aware of them before?
Like I said, we're not going to discuss the intelligence that led up to, then with the intelligence that we had allowed us to conduct that strike.
What kind of intelligence it takes to know a motherfucker got a rocket launcher inside of a truck?
You can't say if they were even individuals who were already on the U.S. radar as high-profile people.
We had intelligence on the target set that led us as we continued to work up that to conduct that strike.
Was these terrorists even important enough to make the terror list? Was they in the top 10, top 20, hell, the top 100?
So can you give us the names of the 2 individuals killed in this strike?
So we can know if they're important or not. Maybe they ain't shit.
I won't speak to the details of these individuals.
Why? Is they top secret terrorists? Why in the hell you can't tell us their name?
No, we're not going to release the names.
Because
we're just not going to release the names.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
Next! I guess these are mystery terrorists.
I understand that. And well, Dan, and I understand that people. We're not going to go into the details of the intelligence that goes into that.
Just like I'm not going to go into the details of me and my hitman assassination on the monkey.
Again, as Mr. Kirby said, we now have 2 members of ISIS-K that are no longer able to facilitate or plan attacks.
Planning attacks on U.S. troops.
I'm not going to go into that.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
You're not going. They don't want to tell us how important the facilitator and the planner really is because they really ain't really shit.
There appear to be images and reports from the ground that some of the Afghan civilians killed may have been shot by the Marines at the gate. At this point in time, since we're 48 hours, do you have any evidence that the Marines or any of the U.S. troops may have shot, injured, or wounded?
We don't. We can't confirm that, and we certainly are not in a position to deny it either.
So you can't even tell us if American soldiers shot at terrorists in Afghanistan. Why is it a muzzle on that?
We are investigating this, and as we get more information that we can reliably communicate to you about this incident, we will.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
So in other words, it's none of America's business who we had a firefight with in Afghanistan. Next!
I am not going to talk about specific capabilities ISIS may have lost in this strike. They lost a planner, and they lost a facilitator, and they've got 1 wounded.
And we got 13 soldiers dead. What a fucking trade-off.
Have there been any attacks? General McKenzie talked about how the Taliban had thwarted some attacks before Thursday's attack. Have there been any other cases that you're aware of that the Taliban have actually stopped attackers from getting in towards the airport?
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
They're not going to answer no questions about the Taliban because remember, they want a partnership with the Taliban.
John, did the Taliban in any way provide any intelligence or any support with this drone strike that killed those 2 ISIS terrorists?
I'm not going to talk about intelligence matters one way or the other.
It's not intelligence no more. This shit is over with. You can talk about it now because it's history.
Rule it out.
I'm not going to talk about intelligence matters one way or the other.
Taliban.
So stop asking about the Taliban because he don't want to badmouth our new partners.
Do you consider the Taliban and the Haqqani network separate entities?
They, Lucas, I'm not going to give you a breakdown here, a characterization.
Because he might have to tell the truth.
We know that the
people that the deputy leader of the Taliban is Surgeon Haqqani, who has a $10 million bounty on his head. People should know. Are these separate entities?
Who in the hell told you that truth? You wasn't supposed to know that, or you wasn't supposed to say it.
I'm not going to talk about the specifics.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
What I'm pushing back a little bit on you, Lucas, is the relevance of that discussion to what we're trying to do today.
Because we don't want to talk about the things that happened yesterday, and we damn sure don't want to talk about the things that's happening tomorrow. Let's talk about the successful airlifts.
Every major newspaper and television news outlet has said that the U.S. military brass recommended to the president to leave 2,500 troops in Afghanistan, not pull out. Have you asked any of those outlets for a correction?
I'm sorry, say that one again.
Next! Because we wasn't talking about that part of the airlift. So next question, Lucas, because you're doing too damn much.
We don't make it a habit to talk publicly one way or the other. Right, wrong, up, down, more or less, about the advice and counsel that Pentagon leaders give the commander-in-chief.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
So ask another airlift question, or another question period, because we don't want to talk about that.
You're calling one a planner and another a facilitator. I believe that you're saying that one, that's correct, right? That's the characterization of these two individuals. What is the difference? I mean, and what makes them targeted?
Nigga, don't ask me that. That is above my lie grade. You're going to have to get another nigga to give you the definition of that.
Thanks for your question, but that is the clarification, planner, facilitator, that are those that would have the ability to facilitate or help plan in attacks.
Wait a minute. What kind of fucking definition is that? A planner and a facilitator plan and facilitate.
And were they involved in planning an imminent attack?
We're not going to go into detailed intelligence information that led to that attack or that strike or future operations.
Wait a minute. If he was a planner, didn't that mean he planned some shit? It doesn't take no top secret reclassification to say this motherfucker was planning attacks. If he a planner, that's what he do.
You called them high profile. Could you explain to us, but not senior?
Yeah, what kind of planner and facilitator are they? Was they just planning and facilitating that rocket attack out of a damn Datsun Toyota?
General Taylor, can you just clarify, were you actually targeting both of these individuals, or were you targeting one and the other one happened to be there and got struck?
Or did you just kill two terrorists that had a rocket on the back of a pickup and gave them a title? We're going to name them facilitators and a planner. That sounds sophisticated enough.
We had the intelligence that led us to the target area that allowed for that strike to happen with the BDA as briefed.
Why in the hell is a facilitator and a planner launching a rocket attack? Ain't they supposed to be facilitating and planning? And launching rocket attacks supposed to be left up to the rocket launcher attackers? Beth Roberts, are you hearing this shit? They want us to believe a planner and a facilitator was in the back of a damn Datsun launching missiles at the Kabul airport. Ain't that a bitch? Next!
John, if I could ask you also, so now you have done this strike, what is the assessment or feeling about the impact of this strike on ISIS-K in Afghanistan?
Yeah, what kind of impact is a planner and a facilitator gonna have on ISIS-K? Is the infrastructure of the whole damn group gonna crumble?
Have you degraded them in any fashion? Can you explain that if they're high profile? Have you deterred? Have you degraded? What is your conclusion about what the impact of this strike actually has been?
Yeah, is ISIS-K going to be able to plan and facilitate any other future attacks?
They have lost some capability to plan and to conduct missions.
Wow, I'm pretty sure a planner and a facilitator in the Taliban is going to be pretty hard to find, especially ones that launch rockets out the back of a Toyota.
But do we believe that we hit valid targets? Bad guys who can do bad things and can plan bad missions? Absolutely.
The whole damn ISIS-K can plan bad missions. You knocked out 2 and injured 1. That didn't put a dent in ISIS-K. I'm pretty sure they got plenty more planners and facilitators where they came from.
I don't know if you can answer, but does the United States have a sense, even if you can't say names, do you have any sense of who is in command of ISIS-K right now?
Don't tell me the ISIS-K leader is top secret too.
I'm not going to get into specific org charts and intelligence about what we know about the organization.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
Wait a minute, we can't know the name of the dead terrorist or the ISIS-K leader? What kind of top secret terrorist shit is this?
We're going to be loath to release a lot of tactical level BDA detail here. We want to preserve as much flexibility as we can. So I think you can understand, or at least I hope you can understand, that we're just not going to be able to answer a lot of that detailed stuff right now.
Well, where the president at? Why the president can't answer this type of shit? I know Donald Trump would. How in the hell Joe Biden gonna end the war and he not nowhere around to talk about it? He gonna send you sons of bitches out.
I think that's really as far as we're going to be able to go right now. Okay.
And that is not far at all. Next!
You're not revealing the names of these individuals, but you know them, right? And do you know the nationality of these individuals who were killed in the drone strike yesterday?
We know who they are.
You know them?
Yes,
and
we know
the
who they
third
are.
one who are wounded was planner or a facilitator?
I don't have that information.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
Well, what kind of intelligence you had on a planner and facilitator if you don't have that information? I thought you had all the information on these planners and facilitators and the wounded soldier.
Do you have any indication of the level or types of foreign fighters that may have flowed into Afghanistan in recent days and weeks?
I do not.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
Because we don't have no more intelligence on the ground to know them numbers.
One more question. During your conversations with the Taliban, have they given you any assurance or indicated that they will not let Afghanistan to be used as a launching pad for terrorist attack against the U.S., its friends and allies?
Can you say that one again?
Because I want to make up some shit to tell you that ain't really true. How in the hell he know? How in the hell he know the Taliban gonna even be in charge of the country? Because ISIS-K ain't bullshitting. ISIS-K might be the new head government of Afghanistan. Or hell, maybe Al-Qaeda. Remember, they still around.
I don't have any schedule announcements to make with respect to that.
What you guys say about ISIS or Al-Qaeda taking over the Taliban and running the country?
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
No comment on nothing. Joe Biden gone. Next!
And then can I get more clarity on why we can't know the names of the ISIS-K suspects that were hit on Thursday? I'm having a hard time understanding. They were described as high-profile planners, facilitators. Yeah. The president has said that we will hunt you down. Why can't we know who the you is?
We don't want to. Next! We don't want to answer top secret information that really ain't top secret information.
So there will probably become a time when we can be more forthcoming. Now's not that time.
It should be that time in a damn impeachment hearing. Next!
And these ISIS-K fighters or planners that you have targeted with drone strikes in the last few days, are any of them, were they released from the Bagram prison or from Pulicharki prison? Were they known combatants who were inside those prisons?
That's a damn good question, because if the Taliban didn't get along with ISIS-K, why in the hell they released ISIS-K?
I don't think we have that information.
Wait a minute. I thought you had information on all the terrorists, but you don't have information on if ISIS-K was launching missiles out the back of a damn Datsun.
Our reporting is saying that there are about 7,000 of the 88,000, so that leaves more than 80,000 SIVs and their family members left behind. Does the Pentagon see that as a success, leaving 80,000 people, SIVs, who worked alongside our troops behind?
Hell yeah, because their only talking point is going to be the war is over. Like, that's a good damn thing. Damn how the war ended, but the war is over. Damn the casualties, the weapons left behind, damn the future terrorist attack, damn all of that. The war is over right now. That's their talking point.
We have sources that say Marines guarding the airport allowed relatives and extended family members of Kabul embassy local staff, despite not having documentation. But meanwhile, spouses and children of Afghans who hold American citizenship and legal permanent resident status were turned away in some cases.
I have not heard those reports, and I cannot verify them.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
Next question. We don't want to talk about American families being stranded by us, America.
There's a question that many of Afghans ask me to, want me to ask you.
They said, why President Biden not warning the Taliban that if any of a U.S. citizen or Afghan allies are hurt or killed after our departure from Afghanistan, their leadership will be targeted, just like ISIS was targeted recently.
You know what? I'm going to act like I really didn't understand that question. I'm going to blame it on your accent. Next!
Are you certain there were secondary explosions?
Yes.
I just have a follow-up on a different part of this. Can you say how you're sure?
No.
Because that's top secret too. Everything is top secret.
I think it'd be better to just not talk about it much more than that. But
because I'm getting impeached already, I don't want to give up no more evidence.
Will you coordinate with the Taliban or give them notice if you plan to conduct more strikes against ISIS?
I don't think it's useful to get into hypothetical operations, future operations one way or the other.
How the fuck is that a hypothetical? It's a chance. How is it a hypothetical? It's damn near a certainty.
Not hypothetical is the fact that the U.S. military has been coordinating with the Taliban on the ground for the last 2 weeks or so. So to ask if you were going to continue coordinating with them, in this case against ISIS-K, isn't hypothetical. Will you continue to coordinate with the Taliban after August 31st?
That sounds like a damn good question to me.
I beg to differ. I actually think your question is entirely hypothetical about something that is entirely different than what we've been coordinating with the Taliban on over the last 2 weeks.
Well, can you tell us what you've been talking about with the Taliban for the last 2 weeks so we'll know we're safe? Never mind. Next!
Does the Pentagon or CENTCOM or whomever it would be have the authority to continue to conduct strikes against ISIS-K after August 31st, or do those decisions have to go to the president on a case-by-case basis?
I'm not going to answer no shit like that.
I won't talk about policy decisions going forward.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
Next question, please.
The U.S. said that the initial assessment was there were no civilian casualties. On what basis did the U.S. make that assessment?
On assessment, we made up. Next! Next question, please.
Ordnance expert and trained EOD tech told me, assessing the wire photos, publicly available photos of the scene show, a lack of soot on the walls, relatively little amount of shrapnel. There's a tree that was knocked down that with the foliage still intact. So, after viewing these things, you still stand by with a high degree of confidence that there was a significant explosion and not something like, a gas tank explosion or something like that may misdirect the evidence of a big secondary explosion.
So in other words, stop putting the 10 on the 20. It wasn't no two blasts. It was one big blast and a small little blast. It wasn't a hell of a lot of artillery on a damn Datsun.
Thanks. I have a question, and it's difficult, but I hope you can entertain it. According to Politico, the U.S. knew where the attack would, or roughly where the attack would take place on Thursday and when it would take place. Why were there U.S. troops at that gate at that time?
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
I'm not going to answer no intelligence on us supposed to be knowing that it was going to be an attack and why we put U.S. soldiers in danger. I'm not going to answer that. Next question, please. You motherfuckers getting too personal.
We're gonna investigate. We're gonna get to the bottom of what happened last Thursday. 13 precious lives were lost. We're going to take that seriously, and we're not going to investigate it in public.
We're going to investigate it in private. So, in other words, we ain't going to let you know nothing about the investigation. Next question, please. You motherfuckers starting to ask questions that we're not really trying to answer in public. You motherfuckers is getting a little too investigative with the reporting.
Will the United States get involved in the war on terror again?
Well, I think I'd like to go back to what I said before.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
I don't have anything to announce today.
Or tomorrow, or the next week, not until 2022, until Republicans take over the House and start impeaching motherfuckers. In 2024, because we got a president that refused to answer questions about American soldiers.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
And an administration that won't tell us nothing about our safety, their plans, or our security. are the weapons of mass destruction that they left the Taliban. Do you know the Taliban had a motherfucker hanging from a Black Hawk down, flying him around the city, showing him off like he was a damn Cadillac ornament?
Obviously, I'm not going to get into the details of either the conversations we're having or our processes and procedures.
But I guess the White House don't want to discuss none of this.
There will be a time to talk about all that. It's just not today.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now. Okay.
Joe Biden refused to answer questions because his handlers won't let him. It's a damn shame that the Biden administration want to talk more about airlifts than about the American soldiers that lost their damn life. They want to talk about the success of the airlifts and not the failure that occurred that cost soldiers their lives. They're quick to tell you they done saved 120,000 Afghanistans, but they didn't tell you how many of them 120,000 Afghanistans is damn terrorists or on the terrorist watch list. The war has ended, but the United States is not safer by far. We're going to have to start impeaching motherfuckers because guess what? We're getting tested. North Korea said they finna start reenacting their nuclear plan. North Korea say they finna start reenacting their nuclear plans. China finna take over Taiwan. Russia finna take over some other territory. You got the border out of control. You got the whole damn country messed up with inflation, racism, crime, taxes, you name it. The country is fucked up, and it's only been 8 months. What's gonna happen in 2 more? Joe Biden refused to answer questions because his handlers won't let him. It's a damn shame that... Rest in peace to David Espinoza out of Texas. Rest in peace, Miss Nicole G out of Sacramento. Rest in peace, Darren Hoover out of Salt Lake City. Rest in peace, Ryan Noss out of Tennessee. Rest in peace, Hunter Lopez out of Indio, California. Rest in peace, Riley McCullum out of Jackson, Wyoming. Rest in peace, Dylan Marola out of Rancho Cucamonga. Rest in peace, Kareem Nakui out of Norco, California. Rest in peace, Sergeant Janae out of Lawrence, Massachusetts. Rest in peace, Humberto Sanchez out of Logansport. Rest in peace, Maxton Sovak out of Berlin Heights. Rest in peace, Deegan Page out of Omaha, Nebraska. Rest in peace, Jared Smits out of St. Charles.